Hi, how are you? This is Anthony from Cypher House Escape, back with the next puzzle from the Red Dot Hunt 2018. Today we're doing case number 7, The Dancer Who Showed Off Our Moves. So let's take a look at what today's puzzle is. The victim was last seen preparing for her upcoming concert. It seems she might have been signaling for help. And it looks like we have a video to watch, so let's start that. Hey everybody, this is Anthony from the future. As I was about to start editing this video, I realized that this particular video on the website contains a very popular and definitely copyrighted Katy Perry song. So in order to avoid the issue, I decided to not play the audio from this video during my solve of the puzzle. If you want to check out the original video from the Red Dot Hunt, it is available on YouTube, and I'll be leaving the link down in the description below. For the sake of solving the puzzle, all that you really need to know is that there's a series of short and long honking sounds that appear in the background over top of the Katy Perry song that's being played. Okay, back to me solving the puzzle. Okay, there's a lot to unpack there. First off, that was fantastic. It was a 1 minute 52 second long video. There's a couple things that we noticed right away. First off, there's the various dance moves that the dancer makes. I am almost certain that this is a commonly used language in puzzle hunts called semaphore. Semaphore is a language typically used with flags, where the flags are held in one of 8 directions around the person's body. This is semaphore code here. So you can see that depending on the angle that the 2 flags make with the person's body, you get various letters from those angles. So this frame that we happen to freeze on, the dancer's holding out her arm to the right, and her other arm upwards and to the left. So looking at our semaphore code table here, we see that that is the letter Y. So I'm going to go through and decode all of the semaphore letters as one of the first things that I do, but I also want to point out one other bit from this video first. It's kind of like a honking at various intervals. Well, that's another commonly used code within puzzle hunts. That's most likely Morse code. There are long and short honks in the background. That's going to be a little bit tougher for me to decipher because I'm personally bad at just listening to things, but I think I'll be able to decode that as well. So hopefully I can decode a string of letters from semaphore and a string of letters from the Morse code. I've identified these 8 time intervals during which the dancer is signing some semaphore and the horns are blasting some Morse code in the background. In the times in between, it's mostly just the singer singing straight to the camera like this. So while these specific time intervals could come into play, or the periods in between could come into play, I'm mostly just going to focus on the Morse letters and the semaphore letters right now. I've gone just one time through the video, and this was my first attempt to decode all of the semaphore letters. There's actually quite a lot of them, and some of them go by very quickly, and sometimes it's a little bit unclear whether the arms are at an angle or perfectly straight. Some of these make a lot of sense, like lay 'em up is kind of in this one. That sounds like it's correct. So does sheeps. It's an actual word. And this one at the bottom is make 'em. But some of these are just seemingly gibberish. So it's important to remember that this was just a first attempt to decode some of this, and likely I got some things wrong. But I'm going to switch over to the Morse code side now and see if that side makes any more sense for me. After listening to the Morse code bit, it actually turned out to be easier than I expected to decode that, because it didn't seem like there were various letters in the background. Rather, in every single one of these time increments, there was exactly 10 short or long dots or dashes, and there was a distinct pause between the first 5 and the last 5. Now, most Morse code letters have 4 or less dots and dashes. The numbers, however, always have this pattern of 5. So that made me realize that what's actually being broadcast by those horns in the background are a bunch of numbers in Morse code, and so these are the numbers that I came up with during the various time intervals. Now, I don't know for sure what they mean yet, and that doesn't really help with my semaphore bits that don't make sense. Okay, going back and checking some of my semaphore over again, I managed to make all of them seem to make sense. They at least make real words now. And I noticed that a lot of them seem to be the beginning of a sentence or a thought, like my haters is, and my life is a. It feels like there should be a word that comes right after these. And so I googled the lyrics to the song Swish Swish by Katy Perry, which is the song that's playing in the background. And we see that there's this line, my haters is obsessed. So I'm believing that these are all lines from the song, and that we can put the next word to complete the line. Then I believe the final step is going to be a process called indexing, where we count into this word that we find from the semaphore hints by the numbers that were given to us by the Morse code hints. So this line, my haters is obsessed, we index into the word obsessed 3 times to get the letter S, because it's the third letter in, and we index 1 time to get the letter O, because O is the first letter. And that gives us the letters S-O. I believe doing this for all of the lines is going to spell out our final answer, or a hint to our final answer. So let's keep going. I've finished all of the lines of the song. I realized sheeps was wrong. That part of the dance went very quickly, but it does spell out she keeps. And of course the next line of the Katy Perry song is receipts. So let's finish by indexing into all these words. If we index 3 into winning, we get the letter N, and then G. So this here spells song. That looks promising. Makes me think we're on the right track here. Let's keep going through. Song name, I kissed a girl. That's also a Katy Perry song. And so the answer to our puzzle is probably girl. Correct. And you liked it. Nice one. Awesome. That was a great puzzle. A lot of fun when there's a video incorporated into the puzzle. It's always enjoyable to have that kind of constantly moving visual to interpret, because so often in puzzles it's just a still image that you're trying to interpret everything on. So this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed this one. Well, that wraps it up for this puzzle. If you like the puzzles that you've seen me doing in these videos, you can access all of them for free from the Reddot hunt, which I'll link down in the description below. There's only 2 puzzles that we have left to solve here, followed by the meta puzzle at the very end, which will combine answers and some other aspects possibly from all of the puzzles that we've done so far. So that's one that I'm really looking forward to. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and as always, happy escaping.